ladies and gentlemen. I normally don't speed up Legacy of the Void replays, but this game was long. We have got Omniscient up here in the top left. Is a Terran up against JoKeR. The bottom right is a Terran. I've played against a lot of people named JoKeR, so I don't know if I've played against this guy before. That seems like a fairly common name. Anyways, it is a TvT, two-player map. Kind of my, right in my breadbasket. The only thing I think I'm better at is TvZ. TvT's up there as well, though. Having quite a lot of confidence against that. Not much for Protoss on the ladder these days, but such is life. We'll come up here, do a quick scout, see the gas. Nothing that weird about it. And then I'll just head home. Can't really bug around that too much. It was pretty close and quick off the line. I like getting a pretty fast second supply depot. You can do that in this game just because, you know, you got the money to. So get that down as part of a wall off. Like to make sure that's really nice and cordoned off against any type of Reaper runarounds. Factory started really fast for me here. And I got Marines coming out. Was thinking about going for kind of a Marine Hellion push is kind of my style. But depending on what I see, I generally just change it up. So I'll go back to regular speed now. And brace myself for a long bit of casting. Reaper heading out. Marines going to the normal spot where Reaper would come up for the shortest distance, but that's also predictable, so he will be going a different direction with his Reaper. Getting a tech lab down on this. Gas. Some more supply depots. So Reaper's going to come up here, see what's going on. Marines heading back. I do have a command center. Looks like he'll not quite get the kill on it, which is rather interesting. Actually drops one of his mega bombs. Does get a piece of a couple of SCVs, but no kills on that Reaper. Again, that little wall kind of helps out a fair bit, so even that just handful of Marines does a really good job. Tanks on the way, command center finishing up here pretty quick on this side. He's going for a fast starport. Should start a command center here pretty soon because he's got the money to. That's what I expect. And starting his own tanks. Keep him having them supply. I always go for my second scan. Rather than a second mule against Terran. I do like to be able to see if it is a Banshee coming. It is. I've already got an engineering bay most of the way done, so I should be alright against this. Throwing down a bunker at the front, Marines heading there. And my command center will be done pretty darn fast compared to my opponent, who hasn't even started his. Units wise, he's going to be ahead in workers, just because I'm really bad for some reason. They continue to make them. Don't know why. If I don't make it like a focus of the game, for some reason I lack a bit on making that. So missile turrets going down. I'm not just putting one in the missile line. My starport with a Viking probably would have been enough to deal with it. But I know on the amateur side, people aren't just going to stick around with their Banshee as long as they can to do damage, so. Excuse me, I'm having some lemonade. Because it is still sweltering hot. Command center just started. Going for a little tank marine push with Banshee. This is so common. I run into this all the time. Bunker, missile turret, tank. Keeps you pretty darn defended against that. I also have a Viking on the way. So these kind of little pushes, which historically can do a lot of damage. I think I might have had an SCV scouting or something. No, it was a Marine I sent to the watchtower. These kind of pushes can win games if you just keep rallying units across the map. But it doesn't look like that is the case. But I'm going to be pretty darn defended against this kind of attack. Viking will be out in just a second. Second tank on the way. High ground missile turret, because sometimes it's a good bounce point for Banshees. Good little pot shot. Wanted to try and pick off that tank, but once again, turret and bunker. Viking will come out. Actually pick that off. Not too much problem. Another Viking is on the way. You kind of invest into that. He didn't get the cloak, though, which is very interesting. Still, pretty good little hold for me there. Units wise, he's still ahead in workers, even though my command center was done sooner, just because, once again, I'm pretty bad. Third command center going down. I feel pretty safe at this point. Throwing down some missile turrets. I don't know what his composition is going to be yet, but you got the money to spend. I'm one of those better safe than sorry kind of players. You'll see that we're both in that boat. Man, I need to make more workers. There we go. Just gotta stay on top of that. Stim on the way, so he'll be going bio-tank. And he's trucking along. I haven't taken my other gases yet. I'm gonna be going mech, so I should be taking him here pretty darn soon. I haven't even... yeah, I did at least fully optimize that one, which is nice. So, overall, doing okay. A little bit down in supply, a little bit down in workers. Another command center will help. He's being very consistent in making workers, so good on him. Keeping his money spending pretty good. I've got this giant pile of money because I want to go into mass Hellions. But it's going to take a long time for these factories. I really missed my timing on that. I'm making a medevac, so I want to be able to go for some kind of drop and harass play. He's got his command center on their way now as well. I'm supply blocked like a newbie scrub noob. Down goes a whole bunch of supply depots, my armory. Keep them upgrades going. And my third CC is now finished. Banshee's going to float around, see if he can, spot some room for some damage. You never know. Medevac is out, going to start making those Hellions. Got a lot of supply opening now. I throw down a scan. I see that it is bio. If you see Marauder, you're pretty darn sure it's going to be bio. He's got his setup. He's supply blocked massively as well, actually. Super supply blocked. Only one supply depot on the way. He's going to need a lot more than that. Banshee kind of bouncing around. Viking is in position. Didn't get cloak. I don't know if he was just going to sack that as a scout, but it's a pretty expensive scout. Missile turret ring in place. And I'm going to send this barracks down here for a little bit of extra vision. Everything is now finally finished up. We're crunching along. Even getting range from my missile turrets there. It seems so wasteful. Like, do I really need to be spending my money at this stage of the game on that? Probably not. I could probably use more Vikings and air control. But, you never know. I'm going to send out this one Hellion just to go and scout for this third base over here. See when he's going to take that. He's actually got himself a Liberator in this as well, which is kind of cool. Medevac, only 3 Hellions. I didn't get my Blue Flame yet. A little bit of a problem. It would have been much more effective to drop with Blue Flame. Such is life. Gotta keep production going. +1 attack for my mech. More Hellions. Second army on the way as well. Scans, sees the comp, sees kind of what's going on. What did I scan? Oh, I scanned over here because I wanted to be able to see what I was going to drop into if he had a big missile turret ring. He does not, but he's going to be able to see my units when they come in, so I'm just going to try and drop right behind the mineral line. Widow Mine, burrow speed on the way. Widow Mines are a really good part of my collection of stuff to do. Oh, those tanks sieged up over there. Whatever. He's pushing out. I scan, see that there's no base there yet. Not necessarily the best out of control from him there. I probably should have picked up my Hellions. I tried to, only got 1 out. But I managed to kill 15 workers with that. And I actually scout the timing of his third. He's still up in supply despite that. Units wise, I did take a worker lead by doing this. But really they didn't accomplish too much for me. Medevac does get out. Fight another day. Lots of tanks, lots of units. Neither of us are really fighting yet, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. Right now I'm going to try and transition into taking another base. I'm scanning the middle of the map, see if his army's out there. Because I don't really want to just lose everything if I have a choice. Probably should move more army. My Hellion production is a little bit too slow. I want those out front to be my meat shield for some Hellbats. Do not have that in place. Oh, pretty good hits there. So, he did take this fight pretty good. He actually got a, he took a lot of damage in doing it, but killing off all those units, a lot of workers. Wow. Get the Raven too. That's a nice pickup for me. Even got air weapons on the way as well, which is kind of cool. Remembering that those are different upgrades. He's in a pretty good spot though. He's taking this as another base. He's got defenses there. Moving down to take a 4th. He's playing this. I think when I was looking at the experience, he's had played a few more games than I have. But what I should be doing is getting more command centers. I need more scans. Need more ability to see what's going on. Hellion's chilling over here. What happened to my medevac? Whatever. More army pushing in. He's actually in a pretty good siege opposition, and we see a lot of, in this game, you see a lot of contain play out of my opponent. And I'm going to go for a Planetary over here with a couple of tanks. Should be a bit better. Try to run by with some Hellions. He's going to do a pretty good job of picking these off. 2 do get by. Blue Flame isn't done yet though. so they won't be able to get too much done. Nah, whatever. Force them to come back. Allows me to take my third base. Gonna have to start transferring workers, building a few more workers now. He's finally getting his production really ramped up. More barracks on the way. Good wall off over here with that bunker down. In a pretty good spot. Didn't realize I probably could have ran right up the gut with some Hellions though. Usually I've been trying to harass on the wings. Sometimes you get lucky and the people don't really leave anything in their main. Most of his rallies I believe are heading out to the front here. So we'll run by with some Hellions will be pretty good. Good high ground tank. Here's actually going to get in a little bit of damage. Now it's kind of like the air fight. He doesn't really have a lot of air, and it means he doesn't have any medevacs as part of this. Stims up, but he's going to get shredded. Something fierce. So it's alright for me. Still have myself in a good position over here. Units in place. Random command center. I'm going to have to do something with at some point. Hellions got 3 more to drop. The rest, I was going to try to run around and get some damage. Then he pauses. Which kind of threw me off. I actually lost all my Hellions going back. After that, I'm like, okay, quickly, what do I need? I need a command center down. More command centers in place. More Hellions being produced, and then I'm going to go for this drop at the same time. Try to keep me in there a little bit. He's getting a good siege up position right now, which is taking up a lot of his focus. It's taking up a lot of mine as well. These Hellions aren't really putting in the work they need to. They do clean out that mineral line pretty good. He's actually got this pretty well bunkered up at the front. Without using bunkers, I guess. Medevac is still alive. He's got no anti-air, so I'm just going to find another place to go for a drop. Good timing to pull all of his workers, actually. Didn't even recognize that. Brings over a medevac, but there's no units here. So I'll actually be able to clean up quite a few more workers with this little drop. Come away and see if there's anything at this base. Now, he does have this base well defended. Not... Wow, these guys aren't even mining. Actually, just the dropping and the splash damage from the tanks got a lot of damage in. But now he's sieged up really darn good over here. Do have some widow mines, some turrets, tanks in a good spot. Tries to siege up. My +2 is on the way. Vehicle plating as well. Wanted to see if auto turrets do splash damage. I guess they're technically like buildings, so you don't really do splash damage off of buildings. I'm gonna go and try and sneak out a command center. One secret missile gets off. At the cost of a Raven though. Pretty expensive. This air control is really, really important for me here. And mech generally can get away with this. It's usually the bio that has trouble because they want the medevacs as part of this army. So keeping up with building air becomes complicated. Supply-wise, we're pretty close. Income-wise, he's quite far ahead. He made up all those workers that he lost, so he's actually doing really good. Stems up, but kind of runs into some tank fire. It's a little shredded. More Ravens on the way. He's still building more workers. Ugh. Probably a little bit more than he needs. He's got to spend his money a little bit better. I actually need to spend my money a little bit better as well. Blue Flame on the way. Some Banshees finally. Cloak. These are going to be very, very important. He doesn't have that air control. Doesn't have enough Vikings here. So Banshees can come in and be quite the bugger. Sending out some more units. He's got really good control of this game. You know, just all in all. I do get down this base over here. It is snuck in. He's got no clue. I'm very surprised with somebody playing this kind of contained game. I would just take some Marines and put them in all the corners just for detection. He'll get down his 4th base. Sacking a few Marines to try and get my Vikings. He's actually going to get down a couple of missile turrets here. Sneak out a bunch of workers. That was really slick. I do manage to at least move that tank away. Now my Banshees are ready. picks up his tank, but what I don't think he realizes is that the secret missile still goes to where it was initiated. So, took a little bit of a hit in the face. I'm struggling to build stuff right now. See, I'm building no units at this moment. My supply is not growing. Big pile of Hellions that I can't really use. Pretty good job for him to rescue his tanks. Probably should send these around. I actually probably could have denied a lot if I'd sent them around the map, but I really wanted to use them for defense. He's actually getting missile turrets now as well. Covering up all of his bases. He knows that Banshees are out, so smartly by him, he's actually getting the missile turrets down. Widow Mines, tanks on the way. Take a couple hits to get past. Banshees, really poor control on that part. Cloak runs out at a bad time. He's got a lot of Marauders in this as well. Big stim. Gets the Widow Mines. Point defense is going to go down. It'll save a few shots. Very, very expensive push from him there. Probably could pick a few of those off. Sieging up his tanks, but he's very spread out now. So I actually unsiege everything and I go for the push. Like, I have to break this contain at some point, so I'm going to go for the push. Man, these Hellions just have bad timing. So I will push out of this and take the low ground. Does manage to deny this command center that I was trying to sneak in over there. So I'm not in a great spot still. Production-wise, need to really do better. Probably could have built a couple more factories just to be able to produce faster. Vikings, tanks, Hellions once again got caught with really nothing to do. These guys needed to do something with their lives. Trying to find a good position for that tank. It actually does kill some of his supply a little bit, surprisingly. He should kill 46 workers so far this game, but he's still going to be way ahead. Yeah, he's still at 75. That's probably doing him a favor. He's building more workers, never mind. Like I'm doing him a favor. I am not. Hellions get ransacked. Very terrible timing as well. This tank's going to get picked up. What happened to my Vikings? Anyways, I'm still taking pretty good engagements just because my tanks are +3, +2. Let's have a couple of tanks. So when you've got this kind of lead, as he does, making a few sacrifices to kill some tanks, very worth it, I would think. A couple of random stranded tanks over here as well. Base is finished. Need to get my gas mining a bit more optimally over here. These bases are done and doing well. Probably could transfer a few more workers, but you know, I'm not too worried about that. I think he's doing all right. Back to building some Vikings and tanks, just meat and potatoes. Should get more Hellions going. Got lots of minerals to spend. Doing a pretty good job rallying everything to the front. Like, this guy's got a pretty good plan of action. He just hasn't been able to really break anything. And if we look at cost effectiveness, let's just look at Lost. Well, 4,000 ahead. Not too bad yet, considering how much economy he has. He's taken the one extra base that I should be taking. That's really what makes it equal. Clean out a couple of tanks. Easy peasy. Big stim up here. Actually lose a couple of my Ravens as part of this. Vikings going to clean up a lot of the medevacs. Combats are still pretty darn good at +3. You know, they put in work. Slowly pushing out, slowly creeping forward. Can pick himself up a few free Hellions. Nice moves from him there. Stuck around maybe just a little bit too long. Planetary trying to sneak in over here. He's got to rebuild a lot of army. He took a lot of losses in that fight, and I'm not in position to defend this. A lot of my stuff is out of the way. Trying to do a repair on this. I need to push in here. I'm gonna lose this command center, but it's just important for me to be able to take this ground. I can't keep getting, you know, pushed back further and further. Vikings give me the extra range and sight. Once again, I'm going to try the auto turret, but it's not really range to be able to do splash damage. This base is up running. It's actually becoming an orbital. Kind of surprised at that. Figured he'd throw down another planetary. Orbitals are good though. You kind of want to be able to use them scans. More Vikings on the way. 3 at a time. Tanks, Hellions. But my base is starting to get pretty mined out here. This one's not doing too bad. Took my gases finally. Scan. I see that this is the case. I'm going to try to run around with a few Hellions here, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to run around. I was thinking about coming up like, right, there's rocks. I'll have to run all the way around now. More Banshees on the way finally. Going to help me out a lot. And Widow Mines. He's been doing a lot of just grunt, run-in kind of charges. So I want to be able to use some of the Widow Mines. Wow, I actually got both of those meals. That was cool. The Widow Mines, he's been just kind of run charging blindly into armies. So I want to be able to get those Widow Mines, that splash damage in there, put in a little bit more work. Another big sacrifice by him there. Clean up a bunch of tanks for that. I actually busted down these rocks as well at the same time. Burrow speed is finished now. Keep those Banshees alive for the time being. Good siege up. I put in a little bit of work. He still cleans up that bit of my army. Finally getting sieged up over here. Taking real air superiority, supremacy, whatever you want to call it. Kind of a funky spot right now. Really wants to get those Banshees, but he's putting in a lot of stim to these medevacs. His army's really beat up. Gets one of them. Right, he can pick up those tanks. Keep forgetting about that. Do I get that? Oh, wow. Great hit. That smoked him. Random tank moving in. Actually gets the snipe. How sick was that? He stays alive. What a beast. But my opponent's still doing way better than me in money. He's up like 4 times the money. Yeah. That's the thing. Gonna have to move these workers soon, but just kind of all over the place right now. Got another planetary down in place. Now it's on to Banshees and more Vikings. Got more starports finished up. So we'll get more production going. Siege tanks and Widow Mines over here, so that'll be a pretty good defense. But he's staying mobile, which is nice. Moving around the map, trying to see where he can poke in and get some damage done. Scan sees the position of my army. I don't really have that many command centers, which is a big problem. I don't have a lot of scans just sitting around. He's maxed out once again. I don't even know if I got near max this entire game. He's again killing a bunch of his overmade workers. Killed 73 workers so far this game. He's going to push up this way. Siege tanks, going to carve into it, but he does kill the command center. Thought I'd be cheeky and quickly throw down another command center, but he is going to pick that off. Auto turrets help out a bit. Nice pickup on that tank, actually, by the way. That's pretty smooth. But it will... He'll have to just back out now. He's actually dipped below me in supply after that fight. Did kill the command center. Float over my natural? Yeah, natural is going to float over there. With a big pile of army. Point defense drones going down, helping with that marauder hit. One hit, but he'll just come over and repair that up. For me, still building more banshees, more tanks. Try to throw down a couple auto turrets to soak up some damage, but he cleans up a lot of my very, very expensive and slow-making tanks. Good engagement from him. I got a little impatient. I really need to take this base in my mind because he's got one more base than I do. So he's going to be in a more favorable position as time goes on. One random Widow Mine over there. Bunch of workers. Could probably start moving over here soon. Pull the ones from this base, but even these gases are spent. I've got a lot of gas right now. It's my minerals that are costing me. I'm back to making Widow Mines once again. There's really two major avenues of attack. Right down the throat here or around the backside. So those are kind of my areas I'm going to try to protect. He's making some Vikings. I don't know why he's not making more. He's got the money to just transition into taking air superiority. And I thought about that a lot during this game. Like, what if he just goes into battle cruisers just really quickly? What if, can he afford to do that? A little bit overkill on that one. I was hoping to grab a few more of his units. Banshee's going to sneak in here, and it looks like he realizes or remembers the Banshee's just a second late. A lot of these guys are pretty beat up already, actually. See the Marines coming. I'm just going to back out to a little bit of a further range. He's actually building more workers again. I think at this stage of the game you don't really need more workers. He's actually got two pretty big armies over here. Pretty big seeker missiles went down on this side. Tries to stim his Marines to get my air army. Actually ran, I think, a couple seeker missiles underneath me there. He's got no anti-air left over here. Should lift up that command center in time. He's got 2 units left over here. Some auto turrets go down. Should be able to clean that up. More tanks in production. He's building lots of Marines. He's got so much gas. Like, if I was in that position, I'd totally go into a new tech, something really crazy. Maybe even nukes. I mean, go against somebody who's so immobile. That's always on my mind as well. It's like, can I nuke? Nine kills on this guy. I'm going to run him back around the other way. Widow Mine's now in good position. Trying to hopefully stop him from just kind of busting into me here. A lot of my tanks are unsieged right now. Big seeker missile hits. So he will crush through that. Thor muscles through that. We'll get through with most of my workers. More Ravens on the way. Pretty big hits. So supply's pretty even once again. He's having trouble with minerals. He hasn't even taken these gas or anything like that. He's been blowing through a lot of Marines. That's why I think, like, my entire all-in strategy here is air. We're just going to pull a few SCVs to try to repair some of this stuff up. The only reason I'm making Hellions mostly is a meat shield. Still have some idle workers kicking around. Not really going to bother me too much. I don't really have anything to really use them on. She doesn't get the kill on that Thor. Little bit of a miscontrol for me there. It's gonna end up costing me. But he does take some pretty big punches in the face from doing that. A lot of these are so beat up. My flock. So what else is going on this map at this point? I'd be pretty chilled out if I was this guy, but he's mining through this base. Doesn't take that gas. Gas doesn't really bother him that much, but it might be nice to mine it out in case it goes really late and I'd need it. Throwing down a couple of missile turrets. Gonna help. One of my big problems is I don't really have enough scan energy. I've got some money, and I was thinking in my mind, should I get some more command centers? But I'm thinking it's so low eco right now. I've got so little money. I can't afford to just throw it away making a couple command centers for scans. Now we're both kind of having trouble getting up in supply. I mean, he's doing at least a little bit better. But he still wants medevacs for his bio because it's so beat up. He's got 2 medevacs that keep running out of energy. Still dancing around with the Ravens. I'm only working off of 2 gases right now. Couple missile turrets down. Gonna throw down some auto turrets because I have a lot of energy on these. So I want to build a little bit of a meat shield in case he does bum rush me again. These don't last as long. I didn't get the upgrade, but that's still a pretty good amount of time. Good chunk army over here. Looks like he wants to throw away some of his SCVs. Getting the Thor is pretty important. That's one of the biggest problems anti-air wise. They beat up on Ravens pretty good. More Widow Mines, more Ravens. Kind of my solution to this game is to go for things to do the most possible damage. And at this point here, I'd be a little frustrated if I was him. I think he knows about this top base now, but I think he realizes that it's empty. He probably scanned it or something, so he doesn't have to even worry about that base. So this is my only bit of income right now. Good marine control out of him there. Actually gets like 4 or 5 Ravens. Oh my god! Okay, we're gonna see that again. That was so sick. Alright, we'll slow it down when it comes time for these the cataclysmic hits. That one last Seeker missile. That is a lot of body parts. He did kill a bunch of Ravens. Ravens were very expensive. That's a big chunk of his bio, and that's a lot of his anti-air as well. He's got a couple of Vikings in here now. Damn. Yeah, I know. I didn't know what to really say at that point because it's hard to tell if somebody's being kind of a cocky douche. Oh wait, speed it up again. I was hoping there'd be a sweet spot back there. There is not. Probably ran in with enough I'd probably be able to get a lot of damage in. But at this point, he's just so oversaturated. Unless I kill all 40 of those SCVs, it doesn't really do me that good to go in there and try and kill him. Starting to build Vikings now, 3 at a time. Wants to retake, or at least get some part of air control here. Gonna try and throw down a few missile turrets. I'm gonna throw down a few auto turrets. Fun stuff. Not good splits. It's a pretty big hit actually. Even hit some of the Vikings that he had there. These auto turrets they're doing stuff. He doesn't have a lot of minerals, so I'm kind of surprised he's just letting those kill off these things because it's ain't free. And I see this as a little opportunity. How many workers did I kill so far? 89. I just want to see what I get done with this. 13 kills, 4 kills. And I don't think he caught that those went down. So we'll keep them in the back there. We'll see how they do. More missile turrets going down. Big spend on my money, but I actually have minerals. It's gas that I'm lacking. $23 kills, 5 kills, 117 total worker kills so far. Does he know about this yet? I think he still hasn't figured it out. It's actually killed off a lot of the workers that were on this mineral line. $25 kills, 7 kills. Looks like he'll finally pick those off after got a lot of damage in there. Units wise, he's down to 16 workers, but I don't think he should care. Mind out, other than the gas, which he could take. Mind out, and that's why Ravens, I think in his mind, wouldn't be a bad choice because they just eat up a lot of gas. Widow mines, I'm trying to fit into some funky spots. See actually a couple of naked tanks out here. I'm gonna get those. Picking those off is nice. You see his supply is actually well below mine. Picking off a couple of tanks is smooth move. Smooth move, X-Lax. Now that I see the Viking numbers out, what I want to try to do is I want to get lucky and like bait him into some Widow Mine shots or something like that. Particularly as I have burrow speed as well. He will see these Widow Mines sneak in. And just picks him off in the nick of time there. So on my side, still a lot of minerals. Technically I can make a lot of Hellions, but there's no real damage they're going to get done. They don't kill buildings fast enough. All they really do is act as a meat shield. I've already got a bit of a meat shield here. I don't think you'd hear him scream if you get hit by a missile that big. Decent little flock of ravens here. A lot of energy on these. Few idle workers. I think at this point, yeah, this is where he's going to try to be... This is what you can do against mech. Sometimes against mech, what you can do is pull your opponent's army really out of position. Wanted to take the watchtower. I've got a lot of extra workers now, too. I don't want to just throw them away. At some point I might actually need them if I've got to go and do a big fight. He's going to come around with his medevacs. He's never looked at my base to see what's down here. Scans, sees this. He scans all this, but he doesn't scan the destination. When I saw that, I was so happy. He lost so many Vikings, he didn't even need to have them there. And all he killed out of that was a couple of missile turrets. At this point, I don't know how much money he really has. Like, I can't really comprehend. But this is the big push. The meat and potatoes. Loses all of his Vikings. Point defense goes down. Actually bring out all the SCVs to fight as well. And he's down to 30 supply. He will GG out. Crazy game. Look at the units lost now. 23,000 more losses through those fights. And like I said, there's a lot of ways that I think he could have turned that around. If he went for air superiority, you see that a lot in late game TvT. Watch the Mavilo play late game TvT. It's just massive Viking and Raven flocks. That's really all it is in that control. The idea of having the Thors in there was a nice touch, I thought. But it just wasn't cost effective enough. He blew a lot of money on Marines and threw them all away very carelessly. They seemed so cheap and easy in the early game, but now in Legacy of the Void you mine out pretty fast. You don't have a lot of choices there. Anyways, SeKo Starcraft, thanks everybody for watching. Long game. Talk to you later.